Okay, so if that even gets close to 88, it dies out. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Myst, a real innovator in the point-and-click genre. And today's subject of the Month of the Pioneer, or at least the other today's subject. Alright, I was hoping it won't take too long to load. Find that interesting how the loading icon was basically a guy falling. But you wouldn't be able to see that because I don't have cursor capture on. Classic Myst, free roam. Explore anywhere using standard navigation keys to move around and the mouse to look around. That's interesting. Hold down to keep moving forward. I think I'll go with free roam. That sounds interesting. Mouse look speed, movement speed. Okay, that's fair enough. Flashlight. Return to game. Press escape. Key for menu. Fair enough. That's interesting. Wait a minute. Did they actually turn it into a 3D game? Because this is the real Myst. That is cool. Huh. I guess this has changed. I did not expect this, if I'm being honest. This must be a complete remake. I was expecting it to be remastered, but I guess I should have remembered there actually was a... I think I actually did hear talks of this being a thing, but I don't know, I just randomly got it. I didn't realize that was the version. Really cool, though. I'm digging it. I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing that, but, you know, in a point-and-click, you gotta try everything. Or I guess in this case, it's not so much a point-and-click as it is just a... Well, it is still a point-and-click, but you know what I mean. It's not a traditional point-and-click is what I'm saying. Oh, here we go. What's this? A book that has a scrambled TV in it. That is so fascinating. Was that like a destroyed memory? Oh, okay.
Monsieur?
What was that about?
How are you?
What?
See you. You know. Help me. Bring blue pages.
This is getting weird. So I have to feed it pages?
Never, never. Pages. I must have the blue page.
I must have the blue pages.
Bring them to me.
Okay. Okay! Okay, if you hunger for blue pages, my master, I will not disappoint you. What's in here? I have called this age Channelwood and it is a very different world. Though it is exactly how I imagined it, it is still amazing to see it with my own eyes. Water covers this age as far as I can see, except for a small rocky island. For some reason my voice is changing dynamically. Elsewhere there are only trees which grow directly out of the water. A myriad of thin wood passageways are built just above the water and disappear into the forest. I assume they were built some time ago, for they appear aged. I'm eager to discover more about this land and its people, but I've arrived here late and I must rest. I was awakened this morning by strange noises coming from a pathway adjacent to the one on which I had slept. I saw a group of monkey-like people heading in my direction. They had not seen me yet. I do not feel threatened by their presence. Their response to me was one that I would never have expected. After staring at me for a short time, they fell to their knees and began what appeared to be some sort of ceremonial worship. I tried to speak to them, but they did not understand my language. Instead, they indicated through enthusiastic hand motions that I was to follow them. As we walked, I began to notice that the waters below us were changing colors. Slowly, subtly, they would change from deep blue to muddy orange. Then from muddy orange to beautifully clear. I was so intrigued by the water I had hardly noticed that we had arrived at a ladder. So what, they just sprayed it with orange soap? Climbing the ladder led us to their village, which is about 10 meters above the ground and can only be reached by rope ladders that stretch from the lower parts of the village level approximately halfway up the grand trees. It is very interesting watching these people carry out their daily tasks. Even after watching them for hours, I did not understand exactly what they were doing. At sunset, they motioned for me to follow them. I followed the creatures to the doorway of an enormous hut. Strangely, once inside, I found the hut appeared even larger than it had from the outside. It's almost as if this is a video game. The walls were garnished with bright metals, and in the center of the hut sat the leader of these people. At least he appeared to be their leader, for he sat a meter off the floor in a thick throne. Guards surrounded the strong creature who was dressed in many exotic, colorful fabrics. Next to the leader sat a very old human, at least to some extent he appeared human. His hair, which was only on his face and head, was completely gray, almost white, and hung very long around his frail body. His thin head hung in by an almost grotesque neck that could not hold its head up to look at me. But what a surprise! This creature could speak my language. Shortly thereafter, I was given a bed with some hand motions that looked to be telling me to go to sleep. I look forward to learning more, as I suspected the ancient creature is a human, but he is old beyond his own reckoning and seems almost insane. However, the tree dwellers almost revere him as a god. They are treating me now in the same fashion, which makes me feel very uncomfortable. It is almost impossible to understand this old man. His voice is feeble but wild. He has adopted much of the language of the tree dwellers. He himself told me that he had not spoken our own tongue in ages. Sorry, I'm really screwing this up. He attempted to explain to me the history of this place. The following is my best translation of what he told me.
Many years ago, the humans and tree dwellers lived together in this place, which was then a vast island. They interacted very little. The humans dwelt on the ground and the tree dwellers lived high above the humans. Occasionally, the island was disturbed by mysterious rumblings which happened randomly. Some sort of tectonic or volcanic action, I suspect. The sometimes slight, sometimes heavy tremors would only last a short time. Then they would stop, allowing everything to return to normal. One day things changed. The rumbling began and grew quickly to unprecedented levels. Soon it became apparent that the entire island was sinking slowly into the ocean around them. Many of the humans died that day, but not before sacrificing themselves in order to stop the sinking of the island. The humans who lived through this catastrophe moved into the trees, where they gradually died out. Maybe because they were unequipped for such an environment, but I am not sure. This is the story the old man This is the story the old man communicated to me, although many details are very unclear in my mind. I'm especially confused as to how the humans saved the island from completely sinking. In fact, I doubt the accuracy of that part of the story. The island must have stopped on its own. Yet the old man believes in the truth of the story as if he had been there, and the tree dwellers worship him, and apparently all humans as if he or they were heroes or gods. The old man ended our conversation today with an event which I will never forget. He began gripping my hands tightly, murmuring something about rest and asleep. He then said, "We had expected you to come sooner." These actions filled me with a sort of immediate dread. With much effort, he stood to his feet. I tried to help, but he pushed me away with more force than I imagined his frail body contained. The tree dwellers quietly surrounded him with very solemn faces. Then they kneeled before him. He walked to each and placed his hand on their heads. All the while he murmured words which I did not understand. Finally he returned to me and smiled, then he closed his eyes and walked out the door and off of the narrow path high in the trees. The tree dwellers were silent. They began a procession down the nearest rope ladder. As I was descending, I saw several of them pick up the body. He had fallen onto a lower level of walkway and carry it away. He was laying down at the dead end of a short pier-like structure. With the use of some potion, one of the tree creatures, it lit the pier on fire, and I watched as the flames engulfed him. As this strange funeral proceeded, the waters around the pier changed to dull green. This morning I awoke, finding it hard to even believe the previous evening's events. The water's a dull green, for as far as I can see now. For some reason the water no longer shifts colors. As I wander throughout the pathways, the creatures watch me, curious to see what I will do next. They are constantly offering me strange objects of affection. I even found food outside the doorway to the room in which I had slept. This is a unique race of beings. I hope to learn their language soon, so that I may learn more from them. I've lived off this world for 3 months off and on, and the tree dwellers have shown great hospitality. I am even beginning to learn bits of their language. I've decided to return home for an extended stay with my loving wife and my sons, and hopefully return with them. However, I'm sure Catherine will once again refuse.
I think this age would be a wonderful experience for them all, and I at least look forward to how Cirrus and Akaner will react to its curious inhabitants. Catherine is staying behind as expected. My sons have returned with me, and they enjoy this age very much. They get along very well with the tree dwellers, and are picking up their language surprisingly fast. I have no doubt that it will not be too long until I can speak with the tree dwellers far better than myself. I am leaving tomorrow to check on Asmodean age. This is quite an interesting tale. Cirrus has suggested that I allow him and his brother to stay. Though the idea unsettles me, I know the boys are growing up rapidly. The hospitality of these creatures is such that I can think of no better place to leave them alone for a short while. So I will consent to their request. I warn the boys not to take advantage of the respect the tree dwellers have for their ideas. They seem to understand my warning, and I have faith they will follow it. Much to my dismay, upon arriving in Everdunes, I learned that Pran and her people are continuing to be menaced by the Coctic. I fear for their survival and plan on returning to her shortly. After checking out Cirrus and Akaner here, see Everdune's journal for more information. After watching Cirrus and Akaner, I see they're handling things very well, and I think I can put to rest any fears about leaving them at Channelwood again. And for a little longer time. The tree dwellers seem slightly distressed that I'm leaving, but are happy that Cirrus and Akaner are staying behind again. I've been gone for over 3 days and have been to many different places. I had to tell Cirrus and Akaner about Pran's death today, and they were visibly shaken, although they only remembered her from their childhood. Catherine had suggested that it would be wise for Cirrus and Akaner to leave Channelwood for a while, and I have to agree. They'll be returning to me when I leave again. I've told my son so that they will be returning with me in 2 days. They spent the entire night telling me of an adventure they experienced in my absence, and it was rather remarkable. It seems they constructed a boat with the creatures and traveled some ways out into the surrounding waters. I enjoy hearing them talking excitedly of their adventures, and I'm reminded of my own adventures of childhood. I finally understand why the tree dwellers have been giving me their many inks and insisting I write with them. Looking through some of my past entries, I see now that the inks have changed from the black I thought they were to various different colors. Hey, you can see it right here. That's something you don't even think about. I have shown some of the creatures my journal, and they laughed and howled. I did not know they had such a sense of humor. Even now, as I look through this very colorful journal, I can't help but laugh to myself. We will be returning tomorrow, so my sons are with the creatures for the last night here. They have told me that they would like to come to Channelwood again, and also asked if they could visit some other ages alone. Though I will have to think over the request, I believe they have proven to me that they are trustworthy and responsible. Catherine will also have to help me decide whether they are ready for travel alone. For now, I must give my farewells to the creatures, for I do not know how long it will be until I visit this age again. That was quite an assorted tale. Future Bridge. Okay, I think that's it. So, it's showing me a clue here. Future Bridge. So everything except that part is highlighted, and there's some kind of symbols. There are 2 symbols that are full. Well, this one isn't quite as full, but it's still pretty full. And then you've got this one that's barely penciled in. I'm not really sure what that signifies. But that was quite a long read, I must say. Oh. You know what? I think I'm going to skip through this one. I hope you don't mind. Consolations. Oh, that's interesting. I'm not seeing it, but I'm sure they are. Okay, I can sort of see it with that. This, however, that's a little out there. Maybe that, but possibly, maybe in a basic shape. You definitely have to use your imagination to see some of these. But it's fine. Wow, there's a lot of reading in this. Not to say that's a bad thing. 3 meters is not enough support for the beams, although amazingly strong. I've decided to... I am extremely... could never imagine it would come together quite as I doubt could possibly work with 14 instead of 8. That's quite a lot missing, isn't it? Okay, this is important. You gotta do this one first. 2, 3, 4, 5. I seriously doubt I'm gonna remember that. That is very specific. Unless I can take notes of it. Tower rotation, huh? That's interesting. Let's see what this kind of memory has in it. Let me guess, feed you red letters, right?
Why?
Feed me red.
Bring me a red.
Yep. Told you.
I can't see it. I need a red, you must. Bring. I beg to bring. Shh. sincere.
This isn't ominous in the slightest. I'm sure this won't awaken some ancient demon to kill me or anything. Well, actually, it won't. Oh, I see. I have to activate these in a specific order, don't I? And then flip the switch. I'm guessing that's what you gotta do. Wait, these are the constellations. All of these are the constellations. Do you have to do it in order? The order that you saw them in? Because that's going to complicate things, because I don't quite remember where they all are. I think the first one was this, but other than that, I know I should have realized, but you know. You know, it's one of those things where it's very specific, and you can forgive me for not quite remembering things. Wait, no, that's not the one. This is the one. Let's see. Anchor Eye Snake. Anchor Eye Snake Spider Cross. Anchor Eye Snake Spider Cross. Anchor Eye Snake Spider Cross. You know what? That'll be good for now. Anchor Snake. Anchor Eye Snake Spider Cross. Anchor Snake. Maybe. Yeah, I'm confusing myself already. Anchor Eye Snake Cross. Anchor Eye Snake Cross. So, let's try this. Anchor. Okay, then Eye. And then Snake. And then Cross. And then what was next? I can only remember so many things at once. Arrow, bird, leaf. Okay. Arrow, bird, leaf. That should be much easier to remember than the first 5. And yet, I need to give myself a little reminder. Arrow, bird, leaf. Okay. The arrow pierces the bird, and it falls under the leaves. That's an easy way to remember it, if a dark way to remember it. The arrow pierces the bird, and it fell upon the leaves. Well, hopefully that was the right order, because that was the order that they were in. Wait. Spider. I did something wrong, didn't I? Whoops. Nope, the spider was definitely there. Crud. I gotta do it again. Hang tight real quick. Okay, I'm pretty sure this time I did them exactly in order. And all of them are pressed, so let's try this time. Oh, nothing happened. I know I did it in exact order. What's with the boat? Oh, well. Let's see what else this game has to offer. I'm not just gonna keep trying to navigate that puzzle over and over again. What do we have here? What the? What in the world? Let's see what this does. Oh. Are you supposed to turn them all on? Okay. If you go too far, it'll reset itself. That makes sense. Oh, the right one isn't even going anymore. The right gauge is completely disabled. What's going on? Is that supposed to happen? Or did I screw something up? Well, the left one went to 99, but the right one is a little dead. Oops. Ah, it's supposed to be... It's supposed to have 88 for both. Whoops. I didn't know that, sorry. Maybe I should have checked before I started pushing random buttons, huh? Ah, I see. Some of them are Some of them raise it by differing amounts. You got to get it exactly at 88. Wait, come on. I'll get it. It just won't be entirely obvious. How? Nope, not like that. That's very precise, isn't it? Literally just one off. Literally just one off. And it was one off that way, too. I know it is possible. At least it should be. Ah, look at that. If I can get it by one more. Or one of them get by two. There we go! I got it to 88. I didn't get the right one to 88, but that one is apparently dead now. Maybe it resets itself. Nope. No matter what, that one's dead now. I mean, at least I had gotten that one to 88, so... close enough. Now I can't do it again. Why did I start pressing things? Why did I have to interfere? What curse is laid upon me? Look at that. That's insane. You know what, I'm just going to turn the ball off. That'll be good. Indeed. Maybe they'll reset themselves after I leave and come back later. If I come back to this game. Huh, look at that. That has to be at an exact time, doesn't it? 2:15. Nope, obviously not. What would that be? Oh, okay. My guess is that if you do it right, then it will form a bridge or something. Well, look at this. PSL. What do we have here? This is very complicated. In a good way. It's very involved. There are things everywhere. It's definitely... This is definitely an early point-and-click game. Or, you know, based off of an early point-and-click game. Now a 3D adventure that still happens to have a lot of pointing and clicking. Actually, come to think of it, this seems like a natural conclusion for point-and-click games. Because this kind of reminds me, in a small kind of way, of Trace Memory. I like that. It combines action exploration with pointing and clicking. It's very fascinating. It's not purely pointing and clicking, it has free roaming among a 3D environment, but you still have to click things and interact with things. It's like the best of both worlds, I think. Even if my stupid self is completely at a loss. Whoa! What do we have here? A secret passage, huh? I swear I didn't look anything up. Some of you probably won't believe me, but I swear this is complete. This is completely new to me. Library. Yeah, you can tell I haven't looked anything up because I am just clicking things at random and seeing what sticks. What does that mean? Library. I guess because it's already at the library. Sort of. Well, in any case, it's... What the... Oh, okay. What's this? Oh. You get to decide which of these two you want to be able to do. What the hell's this? Huh. What do we have here? What in the world is this? This is over my head, man. There's probably an explanation in one of the books. I would guess. Oh, okay. That book is burnt. That's a shame. It's a shame to see such good books burnt. Could that have something to do with the clock? No, it couldn't. Maybe there's a time. No, there's never any times here. It just says this so much time passed, so much time passed. There's no specific time that would correlate to that clock, that's for sure. Approximately 40 to 50 centimeters. Be like here in another 10 years. Stone ship age, bird's eye view. That's interesting. Light. Submersible lamp. Maybe I shouldn't have skipped through it nearly so quickly. But I wasn't sure how much useful information could be gleaned off of this. 3 meters is not support enough for the beam. That's the ship that's the rocket ship that I saw. I haven't seen a piano yet, so if I ever see a piano, I know where I'm gonna look, but... Huh. Just slightly east of north is where I would do a compass? Not sure what that means. Knowing me, the answer is in there somewhere. That's fascinating. I'm sure I did those in order, though. If that was even supposed to be in that order. Maybe I wasn't reading the book properly, and I was actually supposed to do it in a different order. Who even knows? What in the hell is this? A dentist chair? Huh? What do we have here? What the? Huh? What do we have here? January 1st, 001, 12 a.m. Does that take you back in time or something? Oh, no, it couldn't be. Maybe what it actually does is it gives you a representation. Okay, it gives you a representation of the stars in that particular time. That's interesting. I assume that once it correlates to something, you enter that time into that clock out there, and then something will happen. But your guess is as good as mine as exactly how precise it would have to be. This is fascinating, though. I honestly don't understand, though. And I probably won't unless I look it up. Oh, look at that. Save, save, save. Flashlight, huh? You can actually use a flashlight. Ooh, it even has... Well, obviously it has dynamic shadows. That much was obvious from the beginning. But, still. Very cool. Another lever here. Just randomly here. What's that? That's another one of those symbols. It obviously corresponds to something. This has been interesting exploring this place. Some gears, huh? At this point, I'm just randomly flipping switches and seeing if I can make anything happen. Because I obviously don't know the exact order or the exact rhyme of it. I'll just keep flipping switches unless something happens. Unfortunately, I'm running out of time. So I won't be able to do much else besides that. Huh, there's a ladder. That has to mean you can get up there. But what you do up there is anyone's guess. Huh, look at that. Oh, okay, I see. I see where you're coming from. Maybe that power line is actually an indication of something. Do you have to go in here first? Okay, let's go ahead and turn the flashlight off. Let's see if the puzzle actually reset itself, because as of when I last checked it, the pressure gauge on the right wasn't even moving. It's like it died. Okay, now I see. So if it gets all the way to 99, it's gonna die out. However, crap. Okay, so if that even gets close to 88, it dies out. So it's not as though you have to get it precisely at 88. It's just that if that one, or maybe if you don't do it in the proper order, then it kicks out. No, I did in the proper order and still kicked out, so I wouldn't know. This game is clearly way above my head. Unfortunately, I'll just have to leave it at that. And that is it for now. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. Make sure to spread this video around like 88 power, and I will see you next time. Now go out there and capitalize on life. Peace out, have a good one, and have a nice and pleasant day. If you enjoyed the content and want to stay up to date, I upload 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single day. You can also subscribe and hit the bell icon, or just check out the end screens right here.